Hi guys, it's Crystal Wiley with Simple Studies. Today I am sharing a very long overdue video with you all that you have requested for a couple years now, and I apologize for taking this long to make it. So I am sharing how I schedule and loop in multiple subjects for different grades each week. Now, I do want to preface this with the fact that I don't normally write in pen. This is so that it's easier to see. It's usually in pencil. If you don't see a subject on the schedule that I go through, that's probably because my kids take it in our homeschool community. So don't fret, my kids are we're trying to cover as many subjects as possible. Sometimes we'll spend a term going over something more heavy like science versus history or vice versa. I don't recommend following my schedule exactly to the T. You have to do what's right for your students and your children. But hopefully this gives you kind of a framework as to how we schedule in so many different varieties of books and curricula each week. Now, the schedule I have is for term 2. And this is actually going to be next week. So now, again, the reason for doing this in pencil is so that you can erase and move it to the next day if you don't get to it. But let's see. So first of all, this is an Anavance scheduler. Sometimes I just use a Moleskin for today's sake. And for my sake, I usually just jot this down really quickly and then move it over to my kids' notebooks and planners. So this is my son's 8th grader. And then this looks kind of crazy, but when I move it over for my son, or when he moves it over, if each subject you hit it once a day, it's really not that bad. Okay, so let's kind of look at the layout here. So I have morning circle up top. Some of you guys call it morning basket, morning collective, morning symposium, whatever you'd like. And then I only have 4 days a week because one day we are in community, so that's not even on here. The first 2 blocks are for my son because he does more than my daughter. And then this last block is hers. And then the last one down here is our reminders for me on each day. Okay, so let's take a look at Tuesday, for example. This is a day right after community. We have community on Mondays. So it's not as heavy as like a Wednesday or Thursday because they are they had a fire hose on Monday. So Tuesday, I try to back off a little bit, and then Wednesday, Thursday are pretty heavy, and then Friday we back off again, or we go on field trips or whatnot. That being said, so I have morning circle. So we'll take a look at morning circle first, okay? Let's see if I can do this. I don't know. So Bible, that's Acts, and I apologize for my handwriting. I did not learn copy work like my kids when I was younger, so I have the worst handwriting ever. No matter. Okay, so I have Bible, recitation, tales, and this is Story of the World for history. Okay, so we've got 4 things that day. On Wednesday, I have Bible, picture study, and then a read aloud, which we'll be doing Black Beauty in term 2. And then, okay, so Thursday we have Bible recitation again, Shakespeare and history. And then on Friday I have Bible, poetry, composer study. And then I let the kids choose morning read aloud on Fridays. So there is that. Okay, so going into my son, every day he has math, the most important thing you will ever study, which is a Bible curriculum, science, and then let's see, I have grammar every day. Okay, so those you will see as the top 3 regulars, and then I had to add this in pencil. I forgot. I took a photo of this, and then I was like, oh my goodness, I forgot a couple things. And then we have Spanish every other day. I have with mom, so like when he does something with me, I like to stay connected with him. He's 8th grader. He's a super independent learner, but I still love sitting down and reading with him. So I choose different books each day based on the rotation or whatever we're in each term. So the boy Knight will be starting his citizenship book, which is right now, this is our Constitution. And then his geography book, which is On the River of Doubt with Theodore Roosevelt this month. And then architecture and poetry for Friday. Sometimes I will only get to one of those. So there's that. And then the next block is for his classes, his homework, so he has in-person classes and then at community, and then he has two online classes, which one of them is science that he does every day, but that's on his own time. And then he does Plutarch with House of Humane Letters. And then he has a tutor. So I do highlight the things that I want to make sure we don't miss or we have to leave the house for. And then his homework, which Lost Tools of Writing, he's usually really good about this every day. I put it on my planner so that I can make sure I mentally check in with him and say, where are you? Have you submitted it yet? Have you looked at your teacher's notes or whatnot? So he does have an in-person teacher who teaches him Lost Tools once a week, and then he works on it at home. Okay, so last but not least, we have independent reading for him, which is usually a different book each day. And then he likes to read a lot at night, so he'll do his homework at night sometimes, and Narnia is on his list. He's reading through the whole series this year. Spring will be different. We will add in some science fiction novels for spring, so I'm really excited about that. Okay, so next up I have my daughter, 3rd, 4th grade. Every day we have some type of a science or geography. So I have simple studies in here. And math, obviously, every day. Grammar every day for the most part, and or like handwriting or a few things that just gets her pencil moving. Every day she needs to read aloud. And then typing, she loves typing right now. So I don't do it every day. It's definitely something she wanted to do, so I put it in to her schedule, but it's not like a forced thing. It's an inspire, not require thing for her this year. It's if you want to type, go for it. If you don't, I'm not going to press it. I think we will get there someday. Okay, finally, we have her activities, which are, she has an outdoor kind of like adventure homeschool group she goes to on Tuesday afternoons for a few hours. And then we do afternoon occupations or playing outside. Right now it's sunny. It's pretty sunny in Idaho all year for the most part, or dry. So she's able to go out and play with friends or just ride her bike or go on a walk the dog, or she's crafting at home and doing something with her hands in those afternoons. And then last but not least, my things are at the bottom if we have to go somewhere or whatnot. I don't include things like meal planning on here because that's a different, I don't know, to me that's a different section. This is academic. This is like academic and or occupations and activities for their life. So that being said, I know that you guys have asked for a couple years, how do you schedule your days? Can you please share details? I hope this is helpful. I don't know. To me, this is second nature because we've been doing it for 9 years. I know that's not the case for a lot of you. This is going to look different for every single family, every single different person, every single child. And I am not a time block person. I know a lot of people will put time blocks into their planners. I am kind of a contrarian at heart. So when I see something like a specific time that something needs to happen, but yet my daughter wants to knead bread and take homemade bread to someone, then I'm gonna do that over a 20-minute block of something that would feel force-fed and I don't have her buy-in. And again, this just totally depends on each child. So I hope this was helpful. I don't know if it was enough or if you guys have other questions, please let me know. Every week looks different. Every day looks different. The nice thing about the Charlotte Mason method is you're presenting a lot of different ideas every week, even though they may run within the same subject area. Every topic or chapter or whatever we're reading aloud is always going to be different. So let me know if you have questions, and I'm trying to think if there's anything on here that I didn't cover. No, I don't think so. Obviously, you're going to have big picture plans. Term 2, I had some new things flowing into our days. It's colder, it's darker, so we're spending a little bit more time indoors and with read alouds and music and art. Whereas in the spring and summer, we are like outside a ton. So I do feel like term 2 is a great term for us to get a lot more in than we normally would in like a busy fall or a busy spring, let alone summer. Okay, so if you guys have questions, please let me know. Thanks again for watching and being here and following along. I just hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful next few months. Until then, take care and thanks for being here.